It was. I was just talking to Brother John. He saw it 1.5 times, and I seen it years ago. But now, you know, rewatching it, the relevancy of the movie as it relates to the times we're living in right now is absolutely phenomenal. So it was most certainly, like the movie he's picked so far, it was most certainly a good one to watch. So I'm glad I did. It was telling, to say the least.
Coming with the fire every week, baby.
That's how you roll. That's how you roll, baby.
Yeah, I gotta come with that fire, man.
All right, give me one more second. I'm trying to find. Shoot, am I right? Intro. Give me a second. Somebody move my presentations around. Somebody sing us a song while I get ready.
I'll sing a song. No, I'm joking.
Only if you can sing. Otherwise, you can hum it. You can hum it.
Oh, that's good.
There you go. Good Negro spiritual. All right, here we go. Here we go. I got it. All right. All right. So it is 9:06. We're going to get started. Thank you guys for being here. Sincerely appreciate it. What's up, Brother Kerry? You're muted, so I'm gonna read your lips.
Good morning. Good morning.
There you go. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent. Cool. Thank you guys for being here last week. Last week we had to reschedule and push it back because I think there was only 3 of us, which is absolutely unacceptable. Like Brother Craig just said, he most certainly brings the heat. We are trying to awaken our people to a new understanding of things. So it's very, very, very important that if this brother is taking his time to enlighten the rest of us colored folk, then we can at least be here for his lessons, because like he just said, he most certainly brings it. And it's eye-opening, which you will most certainly see in a minute. So give me a quick second to share my screen so I can give you guys the brief intro and turn this thing over to Brother Craig. And then we'll be done. So let me know when you guys can see the screen.
We can see it.
Cool.
You can see it.
Excellent. Cool. All right. And I think everybody here is already aware, but I'm going to do it anyway because I like it, damn it. All right. So what is the Black Gold Nation Movement? Where we at? Here we go. The Black Gold Nation Movement is an international organization that seeks to liberate and save Black people by establishing our own towns/cities whereby we control the environment to make our people bigger, better, and stronger. We believe in this movement that when we allow other people to control our environment, we lose. When we allow other people to control any aspect of our environment, we lose. When we allow other people to control the politics, we lose. The economics, we lose. The educational system, spiritual system, agricultural system, security system, any aspect of our lives that other people can control, amazingly, we come out on the bottom and everybody else comes out on the top. And of course, we want to change that. Why we came to be, based on the understandings, teachings, practices, and strategies of past and current organizations that the Black Gold Nation Movement leadership has lived, studied, and or taught, and the need to continue doing. We build upon the successes minus the mistakes to provide our people solutions that work now to implement a 100-year plan to build power. We understand that every movement that that came before us right now, all of them had a very serious mission. Some of them were successful in what they were trying to do, but all of them failed for multiple reasons, which means the work that they were trying to do, which was always righteous work, is incomplete because they all failed. So what we're trying to do in this movement, having studied and or lived and or taught the essence of those movements, as well as paying attention to what's happening now with some current movements, we want to build upon those successes, not make those mistakes because we don't have that kind of time, and take what they were trying to do to the next level, because again, the work still has to be done because all of them failed for whatever reason. So we want to make sure that we not only do this in a timely fashion, but that we understand the importance of what we're doing so that we can implement a 100-year plan right now, so that in 20, 30 years, when most of us are a bit older, we can hand that to the next generation and have them add their 100-year plan on top of that, as we will seek to become a people, a nation that's always 100 years out, because we've planned it to be that way. So that is a high-level overview of the Black Gold Nation movement. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brother Craig Lee so he can let us know about V for Vendetta. All right, Brother Craig, it's yours.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. This is what, about the 30th week of the pandemic?
Something like that.
Seems like we've been in the pandemic for a long time. So definitely. Yeah. So definitely we wanted to make sure that we take full advantage of this. As I told you guys, one of the reasons why I make sure that I look at the epic Eurocentric based movies is based on something that I learned from Steve Coakley back in 1995. And if you don't know who he is, Google him, research him. But he was known as the Human Encyclopedia. And part of his recommendation for us to have a curriculum to understanding the system, the philosophy system and game of capitalistic white supremacy was to look at their movies, their epic movies. Because, as he said, they have to tell. I mean, they're so arrogant that they're willing to tell you the truth in their movie.
That's right.
And if you do research and you watch these films, then it can all come together so you can really see, and it'll give you the basis of how to actually deal with them as we put our game plan together, because they're not going to tell you this, and we're not going to be in actual meetings with them. You know, they're not going to tell you, like, invite you to the game plan to create biological and chemical warfare, right? So, but they'll put it in a movie or they'll put it in a documentary. And so it's up to us to include those things as a part of our curriculum, along with studying various books and things like that, and doing work, because that's the other part of this process. So I wanted to preface that before we got into the movie, but now we get in, and I always like to start by getting the general thoughts that everybody has about the film.
All I gotta say is wow. I mean, dude, I mean, I that's not a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The movie, a few years in virus, St. Mary's virus, people quarantined. Man, I was blown. Like he said, I had to watch that movie once and a half. I had to go back and figure that out, man, because it was just like, that's not a coincidence. You know, this is just something they were prepping for. That's my thought.
Exactly. Next.
It was very eye-opening for me. And I always was taught that things you want to know what's going on with the powers that be. They usually put it in movies. So I knew that growing up. But this movie, I didn't watch this one back in the day. A couple of the other ones you had on there, I did watch. And I found with this movie, it's really relevant to what's going on today. Like, really relevant. So to think that they made this movie back in 2014, now we're in 2020, it was eye-opening and kind of eerie, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Next.
This is Tara. I think now, after watching the movie, I look at the news differently. Every time I watch like world news or something that's talking about the virus or whatever, I'm like, I have one eyebrow up, like, are they telling us the truth?
Okay.
You muted. You muted, Bonnie.
This is Jatique. It kind of blew me away too, just the similarities, all the way down to the officers with the masks on, and how when when the people started kind of becoming alive, the chancellor kind of bombarded them through the media with the, they just gave them everything, the killer bees, the the everything. And it also struck me also, it kind of gave me like a Beauty and the Beast type quality throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Okay, Veronica.
Hi, this is Veronica. I would say when it comes to the dictatorship, it's just funny how a lot of the times they try to suppress the information so quickly, so that the people aren't getting the truth. And when they do that, it confuses people, right off the bat. So you're like, which one is truth? So it's always a search for truth.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the dictatorship, a lot of times people get into leadership because they want to do well and they want to do good for their communities. But then you realize the further up you go, there's a lot of dictatorship that you really don't have a voice. You're actually censored, and you have to speak in unison of what your leaders are telling you to say.
Yeah.
You muted, Carrie. If you're talking, there you go.
I might well stay muted because of the truth. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh hell! Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. What the hell? That's why we ain't free. What is going on here? That's why we're not free, man. Come on now.
No. I'm just saying I hadn't seen it yet. But the preface that Brother Lee just made, again, I wouldn't be surprised. I will be going into the movie knowing that I'm going to find these little nuances and that just supposed to keep our mind up. They show you one thing, but you got to make sure you're thinking about what it is. So if y'all don't mind if I sit down and listen to the critique, and I promise to go listen to it. It just
that's cool.
You gonna kick me? You gonna kick me out, Brother Damani? Please?
Nah. But you got to put on this virtual dunce cap for about 30 minutes so we can all look at you like. And he leadership. What the hell? I think I'm the last one. I thought the movie was absolutely phenomenal. Like Brother John and what a few of you have also said, that the similarities and the parallels with what's going on right now is absolutely it's frightening. It's amazing, gut-wrenching even. And the fact that I didn't know that it came out in 2014, Lynn, or 2004?
No, 2005.
2005. So that movie is 15 years old, right? 2005. Yeah, 15 years old, and we're living that reality in that movie. So it really, really makes you wonder, are the things that are happening right now, are they planned? And is this a part of some greater scheme? And on the flip side of that, of course, everything to me highlights the importance of the Black Gold Nation movement, because you can push back and protect yourself from all of that if you are connected and organized. You could say with a people, but I'm going to say with our people. If you have a connected and organized nation, then you don't have to buy into the propaganda. You don't have to worry about the takeover and or the control. You don't have to worry about the viruses. There's so many things you don't have to worry about that unity will protect you from. So on one hand, I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. These things are actually happening right now. And then my other wow was, we can be ready. So I thought it was a great movie.
Hey, can I add one more thing?
Hell no.
Can I add one more thing?
Go ahead, brother.
I don't know if anybody picked this up, but they were talking about the wealth transfer.
Yes.
Did you pick that up? And
yes.
And that's exactly how I feel what's going on right now. All the middle class are basically out of jobs, or essential workers who make a little bit of pay and risking their lives, and the wealthier are getting wealthier.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Same thing in the movie.
Yep.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up as we get ready to get into the other questions, because again, you're not going to get that from a Black movie, a movie that's with a Black subject matter. Now I watch all movies, but in terms of what we have to now get our people prepared to do is understanding these situations and these issues and these subjects, we're not just going to deal with them in the context of a Black movie. Okay, I mean, we're just not. And we got to get our people to understanding how the game is played and what the architects, the engineers, and the managers of the system and game of capitalistic white supremacy does. They use entertainment to do their distraction, and they have different branches of entertainment. Movie entertainment, television entertainment, sports entertainment, religious entertainment, literary entertainment. If they can make entertainment an industry for any particular thing that catches on, they're going to use it. And through the use of that, that's how they facilitate their propaganda. But they also will put their truth in it. And so we have to be able to, get that. Now, one of the things that I learned in junior high school from my English teacher was to always study, whether it's a literary art, movie, whatever, study the writer, the author of that particular artwork. And so, because if you study the author, their background, where they went to school, their influences, that's going to tell you why a book is written in a certain way, why a movie is written in a certain way, why a play is written in a certain way, and whatnot. So with that said, first question, who made this movie?
I don't know his name, but it was funny that I saw Grant Hill in that as one of the producers. I don't know if that's the basketball player or not.
Okay. Next, anybody?
I don't remember.
All right.
I don't remember. I saw it, but I don't remember the name.
All right. Now, this is a very important point because the first movie that we watched was The Matrix. And of course, The Matrix is a franchise of 3 films. And the same entities who made The Matrix did this particular movie, as well as Cloud Atlantis and The Assassins. And they're called the Wachowski brothers.
Yep.
All right. Lawrence and Andrew. But I'm going to now hit you with something to see if you picked up on it. How many of you picked up on and it's not even an undertone, it's really was an overtone in the movie. How many of you picked up on the homosexual messages that were propagated in the movie?
I got that.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guess what? The Wachowski brothers now call themselves the Wachowski sisters.
Interesting.
They
Say that again?
They call themselves transsexuals now.
Okay.
Wow. Interesting.
Can you connect the dots for me, Brother John? What am I saying?
I'll get it. I mean, yeah. They had to change. So I'm looking up the Wachowskis now. The invasion of the body snatchers? Don't mind that question. I'm looking up online these screenplays.
Wow.
I don't get it. I'm sorry, Veronica, you got it?
Veronica, you got something to say?
No, I was laughing. I was looking it up too.
I don't get it because from what I got from the movie, the system, the power structure was anti-gay, weren't they? Didn't they look at gay as being a scourge on society?
That's why they put them in there because they're pushing the whole gay advocacy agenda. And remember, the television host was a homosexual, but he defied the system. So they promoted the main character that influenced V's advocacy to be a vigilante against the system was who? A homosexual female.
So you said they're planting seeds.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
They're
I got
creating
it.
sympathy.
I have no problem saying I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point, Tara. Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, what? I just looked it up.
What you say, Kerry?
I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and they just said they're trans women.
Exactly.
Both of them are trans women.
It didn't start out that way.
Trans women.
Wow. Okay.
So they put that. So here's what I'm trying to explain to you. When I talk to you all about politics, when Brother Tamani asked me to be over the political division, one of the things that I have to help elevate our people in the understanding, and I put this in the outline for you guys, is that politics is the art and science of pushing personal or group agendas. All right?
Yep.
So you got politics in relationships with husband and wives, family, business. It's not just government. All right? So their political agenda is being pushed throughout the state. They push it strong because that's how they're rolling.
Yeah.
So that's how they're rolling. They started with the Matrix, but of course, that's more on a spiritual, cultural level. But they transition into this whole interracial, homosexual messaging throughout the deal. As a matter of fact, they got so deep in this when the authorities came for this one group of homosexual males. Look at what he puts in there: the Negro male and the Caucasian male in bed together. So I wanted to point that out first and foremost about the writing of this, the directorship. This is being propagated, from the outset. This is how this works. And the same with Divergent. The white female who wrote that, she was going through a master's or PhD program in psychology. So you see that play out in how they went into the minds of the people through their analysis and tapping into the mindset of various entities to see whether or not they were going to fit into a particular faction. So whenever you look at any book, any movie, any play, first and foremost, the people who wrote it, who directed it, because it's going to tell you about the politics of the messaging of the particular piece. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So Lawrence is now Lena. Andrew is now Lily.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
And this is very critical because Carrie just hit on it. They're calling themselves trans women, right? Now, let me show you something. When Oprah Winfrey is a part of this whole propaganda deal. She did a show years ago saying she had the first man to give birth.
She what? Say that again?
Oprah Winfrey did a show years ago on the first man to give birth.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Now, I do a project workshop as well. And so I looked at the show and I was like, wow, this is so clever how they use Oprah Winfrey through television entertainment and her platform of millions upon millions of people to do what? desensitize primarily black people to accepting what? Homosexuality.
Hmm.
Now, can a man give birth?
Hell no. How? Well, I take that back. Well, he may be able to carry. If I saw a I don't know what the hell I was watching. I'm not sure if it was a documentary or a clip or something, but they have perfected a way to put a uterus inside a transgendered person, so that the man, the child develops inside the male body, and then it's just a C-section after the fact.
It's not possible.
I'm just letting you know what I saw.
With science, everything's possible with science.
Seemingly.
So this is why we have to be very clear as to what's going on now, because as I told you, that the definition, the greatest definition I've heard for power is the ability to define reality and have others respond to your definition as if it were their own. And first and foremost, to become a man, you must first be born a male. In order to become a woman, you must be first born a female. Neither male nor man can give birth. Neither female nor woman can stimulate birth. Those are exclusive things. But within this world, because Europeans are so spiritually void of spirituality, they attempt to do what? Play the creator role.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And through this, they manipulate the minds of the masses of people in order.
You
so within that, this is what has transpired within this particular movie. I just wanted to bring you all's attention to it, so when you go back and look at the film, and Brother Kerry, when you look at it for the first time, you will then see the actual political. That's
Yeah, I'll be ready for it now.
okay.
I'll be ready for it now. I got a question. Quick question. When you talked about the movie that Oprah did, do you think she was aware of what that was all about? Did she see it the way you saw it, or maybe did she see it afterwards?
The movie?
The movie, you said that they used her. I mean, the show, they used her to talk about a man be able to have a child. What you talk about? Do you think she was aware of what the bottom line it was, or what?
Let me tell you something. Coming out of corporate America, you can't be in those upper echelon positions without knowing what the game is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
And Veronica just hit on it in terms of being compliant as you move up the ladder. So hell yeah, she knew. And she's a part of it because she helps to propagate these particular messages, and for that, they have to protect her. Let me just digress for a second to give you another point, since the Michael Jordan's documentary is out right now, okay, The Last Dance, okay? Why do you all think that there's so much vitriolic hate against LeBron?
Against who?
Against who?
LeBron James.
Against who?
LeBron James.
LeBron. Oh, probably because LeBron doesn't seem to buy into the corporate way of doing things. LeBron seems like he's blazing his own trail, so to speak.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can see that.
Okay.
He didn't drink the juice.
Didn't drink the juice.
He didn't take the pill. Yeah. He didn't take
At least
the pill,
not yet,
right.
anyway. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
Now, I want y'all to follow me now.
Mm-hmm.
This Uncle Tom sellout, Jason Whitlock, went in the paint on LeBron James this week for LeBron James speaking up on behalf of Ahmaud Arbery, the brother who was murdered in Georgia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and Whitlock went in the paint on him. Whitlock is a sports commentator.
Mm-hmm.
Whitlock is pro Jordan. He hates LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the documentary, and I'm looking at it now, there's a reason why white folks, beyond Jordan's athletic ability and all of that, there's a reason why this narrative about Jordan is being crafted, and it ain't got a goddamn thing to do with basketball.
Mm.
Jordan is compliant, as Veronica is talking about. He's compliant with the corporate system.
Mm.
And what LeBron James is doing is structuring his own corporate system inside of corporate America.
Yep. Yes, he is.
You're
It's
right.
awesome. Yeah, it's awesome the way LeBron moves and what he does. When the NCAA tried to implement a rule that made it difficult for him to do his business, although he was successful, I did a Facebook Live on this. This brother said, "The hell you will." And I don't know if a black man has ever had enough power to stand up to a system and win. And he did it.
And that's why they must denounce indirectly and directly LeBron James, because look at what when you look at this documentary on Jordan wouldn't even advocate for the only player that helped him win all of those championships.
Yeah.
And that was Scottie Pippen.
He would not go to bat for him.
He did not go to bat for him whatsoever. Now follow me. LeBron James has changed the complete pay structure of the NBA. These brothers are stupid paid now. Not because of Michael Jordan, but because of LeBron James. Not only did he change the pay structure,
Interesting.
he fired his white agent after he came in the league. And who did he put over his business affairs?
His homie.
Best friend. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he brought him along with him.
Mm-hmm.
He forced the white folks who had the corporation to train his homeboys, and now his homeboys are running the goddamn show in the end.
Nice.
So now he needs to take his homeboy, needs to train other players to do the same thing.
That's what he's
doing. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And, that's exactly what he's doing.
And I want to make this statement, and that if you follow business, a lot of people know that Michael Jordan's company is only the minority partner of Nike.
Right.
Michael Jordan's a company, but all the manufacturing and stuff is being subcontracted to Nike to do the work.
Right. So
in other words, even though he's at the top, all the other stuff is really Nike, but they on his name.
He's a figurehead. He's a figurehead.
I mean, they happen a lot in corporate. That happens a lot in corporate. I know in my business happens. So you usually find the right person. And he had the right because of his thing, and of course he's making money. And I guess the bottom line is about money. But his company is really just a subsidiary of Nike.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah. And Craig Hodges, when you go back and look at an interview that he did, and I'm gonna tie all this into V for Vendetta. You go back and look at a interview that Craig Hodges did, and he was upset because neither Michael Jordan nor Magic Johnson wanted to be their own boss. So Nike, Kerry, you're correct, before his career ended, they set him up a subsidiary of Nike, and he came up with this stupid name, Jumpman, which is a stupid brand, but he came up with that, but they handle all of the business. Now my point is, when you don't have control of your mind and you don't understand how this system works, before you tap into money, status, and materialism, you pretty much are dead on arrival. LeBron James has learned the game, and they do not want that image promoted to the majority of Black people. And that's why they have to attack him at all costs. Because common sense would tell anybody that if somebody has gone to the NBA championships 9 times, I don't give a damn he's only won 3. The whole point is he's been in the league. This year would make 17 years. Over half of his career, he's been in the finals. Michael Jordan played 15 years, and he only went to the NBA championship 6 times. So less than 50% of his time was in the NBA finals, although he won 6. Hell, he lost 9. But the point is now people try to make losing a championship a disgrace. When the reality, this brother should be celebrated because what has he done off the court? Started school, got all his homeboys wealthy, their families are benefiting, okay? So when we now talk about V for Vendetta was all about challenging the system of capitalistic white supremacy that was oppressing in real life people.
Yeah.
Because did you all know that this movie is based on a real life situation that happened?
Really?
Yes, I saw that.
Y'all never, did y'all listen? Always remember the 5th of November?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the Gunpowder Revolt in Europe, in England. Now I want y'all to research this now.
I'm on it now.
Okay, I want y'all to research this because they talked about a particular individual in this movie, and his name is Guy Fawkes.
Right.
Fawkes. Why is that important? Guy Fawkes was trying to destroy the government at that time. Who was the government at that time?
The English Catholics.
What, King James?
I'm cheating. I'm reading Wikipedia.
I'm on it too.
English Catholics.
1605 Gunpowder.
No. That's who he was a member of.
He was a member of the Catholic.
Right.
Who was it, John?
King James?
King James.
Wait, hold on a second. I was about to say that. John, why don't you be quiet? I always trying to take people's answers. I don't like that, brother. He ain't gonna make it.
The one and only homosexual cracker, diabolical pedophile, everything, was in power at the time in 1605. And what were they working on in 1605 in England? Uh-oh.
We going way back.
Come on.
They were working on a particular version of the Bible.
What's the name of that version?
King James
version.
King James version.
There it is.
Now,
say that
I'm
again.
to you now. The first major translation of African scripture by white folks was what?
King James.
King
No.
James.
No.
What?
Wait, ask the question again.
The first major translation of our African scripture that was in the Dead Sea Scrolls and whatnot, it was done by who? What European entity did the first major translation?
Greeks? It wasn't the Catholic Church?
It was the Catholic Church. And what is that book called?
Oh,
The Latin Vulgate.
okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know that one.
I don't know that.
Follow me now. The Catholics were in control.
Yeah.
Until what started to happen? The Protestant Reformation.
You
The
deep.
Christian Crusade.
That's what I said. I'm in school.
Y'all not ready.
Oh, I gotta get a notebook out.
I have my notebook right here.
I wish I'd have picked notes.
So let's digress one more second.
Mm-hmm.
One of the entities who was supposed to be the iconic figure for Black Civil Rights Movement was Martin Luther King, right?
Right.
Mm.
Martin Luther King, what was his real name when he was born?
Michael.
So how did his name become Martin Luther King?
Father's influenced by Martin Luther.
And who was Martin Luther?
Come on, man.
Was he a Catholic?
He was a saint.
No, he was
Protestant.
Yeah, he was one of the leaders of Crusades, wasn't he?
Again, Gary?
Wasn't he one of the leaders of the later Crusades?
Exactly. He was the warrior for the so-called Christian Crusades and the Protestant Reformation. And they had knocked off the Catholics. And the Catholics wanted their power back. But who was in charge at that time? King James. Guy Fawkes was with the Catholic militia.
Hence the attempted coup.
Movie V for Vendetta.
There we go. Full circle.
And what day is the movie based on?
The 5th of November.
No, it's in November.
November. Okay. So what does that mean? So V is Latin for what number?
5.
Bye.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord, oh my God.
We know that much.
We know that much. You ain't give us on that one.
You are recording this, right?
Yes, but it's only for white folks.
And the Gunpowder Revolt happened on November the 5th, 1605, 6 years before the King James Version of the so-called Bible was completed by who?
Ask that again. Say it again. Ask that again.
Okay, the revolt happened November 5th, 1605.
Yeah.
6 years before the completion of the King James Version of so-called Bible, who was structured by what writer? Who was the main writer of the King James Version?
I do not know.
Roman Catholics?
William Shakespeare.
Roman Catholics?
Yeah.
I'm reading stuff.
So now when you look at the character of V in V for Vendetta, he was very articulate like who?
Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
Poetry everywhere.
Poetry everywhere. You see? He was emotion. So the number five represents love, marriage, loyalty. It also represents the 5 senses. It represents the human structure. How is that? You got 5 what? Fingers, 3 hands,
Senses.
5 toes. It also represents the 5 mysteries: the Father, the Son, the Spirit, creation, and redemption. All of that is in this movie. All of that is in this movie.
Who knew?
Okay? So the cell that the female was in, who was the homosexual, you don't find this out until almost the end of the movie. The cell that she was in was number 4. V was in cell number 5. And they communicated through letter within the construct of his incarceration. which they were doing test trials on all of them. Biological, chemical test trials.
Right.
Which is what is going on right now, which has been going on.
Yep.
Now, V was very proficient at understanding quite a few things. Technology, propaganda, marketing. He was very proficient. How was he able to get his message out to the masses of the people?
Through the media.
The media.
Taking over the media.
Well, through the technology.
What did he do in order to do that?
You had to hold them hostage.
He went into the studio and hijacked the system, held them hostage.
Right.
Exactly. And he went into the TV station and he did what?
Took over the system.
He hacked into their mainframe. And he now this is where the mainframe, which typically worked against the people, it started to do what? Work in benefit of the people.
Exactly.
Only because the control of the system changed.
So when we talk about the Black Gold movement, we got people who are on the tech side of the equation. We got people who are on the agriculture. We got finance. We got skills throughout the entire deal. And you got to have that, because in reality, one person is not going to have all of the skills that V had in V for Vendetta.
That's right.
He's the embodiment, actually, of a revolution. Because V understood politics, he understood mobilization, organization, he understood technology. Hell, he had all them damn books. I mean, he spent time reading, brother.
He was a hybrid, right?
Now, when the movie first starts, what is the female's name who is the main character in this film?
Ellie?
Huh?
What's her name? Ellie or Eva?
Evie.
Eve. You see, the symbolism. Eve. And when V first came to her defense, when the guys were trying to rape her, because they were under what? What was England under at that time?
Martial law?
Did they call it martial law? Yeah.
They were under martial law.
Right.
They were supposed to have her ass out. But she was out. So now, what happened? Did V pray for the guys who were trying to?
He was slick. He was slick.
Yeah,
could have been.
Yeah. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Did V really know Evie, or was this just a arbitrary situation that went down?
I don't know.
I think it was arbitrary, but the way you asking me make it sound like you're trying to trick somebody.
Think about it. Where did Evie work?
She worked for the TV.
She worked for TV.
She worked at the damn TV station.
So he pinpointed her.
So maybe he did know her.
I'm gonna tell you why I believe he did not know her.
Okay.
Because if you, well, two reasons. One, because I'm not afraid of you. Two, remember the gay guy, her friend that she sought refuge with, he was trying to put up a facade that he was not gay. So he was inviting a woman over so it would look like he wasn't gay. So she had a completely different purpose for being out that late at night. And I don't know, shit, he knew every damn thing else. I don't know how he would know that, but I think it's arbitrary. Unless he had tabs on the gay white dude. So I'm saying that he did not know.
He was already doing intel and reconnaissance
on everybody and everything. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
He was already doing recon.
Yeah, but how would he know that?
Huh?
How would he know that?
How would he know what?
that she was gonna be out.
He's
He was surveilling them.
Yes.
doing recon work.
And you know something else that I was thinking about doing this movie because he had information on everybody and everything. I was wondering, is there more than one V?
That's what I was thinking.
Because dude had information on everybody and everything, and he was just rolling. If he was just by himself, that's pretty awesome. But I'm thinking, is there more than one V?
What? And that's a good question. I would say that if he didn't have assistance of hidden grassroots people, that was the message that he was trying to convey to get a grassroots mobilized effort to jump off.
Right.
But the reason I believe that he knew who she was is because of her affiliation to the entity. Because think about it like this. Remember now, he allowed her to leave to go where? To the Catholic Church.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that she was going to try to alert
Right.
the priest.
Right.
She didn't know the plot. So the question then becomes, can you be a part of a conspiracy and not know it?
Yep.
Hell yeah. By all means.
Yeah.
Exactly. I believe he knew her.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm reading something and basically stating that V may have been her father.
You cheating.
It's safe.
I'm just doing my research, you know me. He was a political prisoner. He was a political prisoner.
Yeah.
And he wanted to, help his daughter. And that's the reason why I think he was crying when she left the first time. And then she came back, remember? He didn't want her to leave.
That at the end as well? I thought they said that.
That she was his daughter?
Yeah, she said something like, that was my father.
No. Well, she said, father, friend. The thing is, he's a metaphor for her father.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because her parents were involved in something else when she was younger. So, yeah.
They were killed.
They were killed.
Okay.
They were killed. That could be symbolic that, they weren't killed, but in essence, the story goes, they were killed. Gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
They were grassroots soldiers. Trying to do what? What were they trying to do, Rati? The same thing we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Liberate. Mm-hmm.
Trying to gain empowerment for their people against the system.
Yes, sir.
So in essence, yeah, V was had the spirit of her father. And I think V did a profile of her and knew who her upbringing, and she was running from her grassroots revolutionary spirit, and she was trying to fit into what? The Matrix.
Right. The system, yeah.
That's why we looked at the Matrix first, because everything that we study and analyze from here on out is going to be based on people trying to fit in what?
The Matrix, the system, yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Divergent series is about what? Conforming to the Matrix, and the ones who don't conform to the Matrix
They
are called
come.
Divergent, and they got to go. Because the Divergent can wake up the people who are conforming, and that undermines what? The system.
Yep.
I think Tamani made a good point when he said, I think there may have been more than one V.
Possibly.
Because even if there weren't, he actually told her at the end, it's your choice. This is your generation.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to give the next generation hope. And even though he had all these different expertise. Like he knew a lot in politics. He knew a lot about a lot of different things, right? But he had to be able to pull the masses together. But he wasn't the one that was going to be able to give that hope. It had to be her to send that destruction to that building in order for everyone to be able to see it. They needed proof. They needed proof that something was going to happen.
They needed proof. You just hit it, Veronica. You must create the physical reality for the Negro to follow, for people to follow. They are not going to follow theory. They're not.
No.
They're not. They'll talk about theory all day long on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
It is something tangible.
And they were coming. They were coming and they were ready. And they had already taken on the spirit of V because they all put on their mask. On those masks and the whole garb, they were already ready for the battle. And so even though everyone came with a different talent and a different type of ability, they had to be able to become in unison.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. You must create that physical reality in order for people who are downtrodden and oppressed to see that something else can happen. Now, Veronica, let me see if you can get this one. Both V and all of those followers were finally willing to do what in order to be liberated? They're willing to do what?
They were willing to move forward. They were willing to take on the task.
How?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think John got this one.
I'm trying to put it together myself.
I mean, were they like willing to fight the system? They were willing to take on the system.
You say when she was willing to face her death, when they were willing to face their death, the guy said, "Oh, now you're free."
Yes.
You ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah, even when she was in the when Eve was in the Evie was in the cell, and she was willing to die, and then they said, "Now you're free." And she's like, "What?" She was willing to die. Yeah. That's
and King said it best. A man who is not willing to die for something ain't fit to live. So you hit it out the park. When you are willing to die, you can be free. When your ass ain't willing to die, they got you.
Yep. All right, Brother Lee, real quick. So remember when the comedic TV show host, he had the two chancellors on there?
Yeah.
And then he had, V underneath the chair, tying the shoes and So, okay, that's where I was thinking, people now see this guy making this guy look like a fool. And then they were really buying into the fact that, okay, yeah, let me see 365 days later what this guy is really going to do. And that's what I was thinking. They were coming out that day because he said this is the day. That's where I was leading to.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. But let me show you something. The dude thought it was a game.
Right.
Look at him. He said, "Oh, they ain't gonna do nothing. They'll probably find me."
Right. That's right. Until they showed up at his door.
No, it ain't gonna be no fine now, partner.
Yeah, because, this is real.
Because you are now undermining our propaganda, and you're now promoting another propaganda that's going to undermine the system.
Right, and we can't have that. We can't have that.
We're going to have to show your ass. It ain't going to be no fine.
Yeah.
We're going to kill your ass today.
So you say that. So, okay, now go back to when the guys found the email of the dude's name who also burnt up in the fire. And then they had a meeting with him. So we didn't know nothing about the chancellor was the person that was going to be underneath that hood. So why, let me get this right, hold up. So how did the people know what was going to happen? But we, like I just said, the 365 days, okay, everybody come out. We didn't know that the chancellor was going to be under that hood and the guy was going to shoot him. So how does that correlate with all of that?
Okay, so follow the deal. The only way that
we didn't know the deal.
No, follow the deal. Check this out. The only way that he could get the chancellor where he wanted him, he had to get leverage.
Right.
He had to get leverage. How did he gain leverage in order for some people inside of the council to turn on the chancellor?
Right.
How did he get that leverage, John?
I must have missed something there, though. Because all I knew is next thing I know, they brought the teams out. Go ahead.
They started killing some people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that was connected to what happened to him and those experiments, each one of their ass he took out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it finally got to the one Creedy, and he told Creedy, either you broker this damn deal or your ass is gonna be killed.
Right.
And Creedy knew he wasn't playing because everybody was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So he gained leverage by using so-called violence to accomplish a positive agenda.
Which means you absolutely must have the ability, the wherewithal, the willingness to reach out and touch a motherfucker. And I'm not joking. Gotta have it.
Oh, Brother Craig, how can we go get Trump then?
Huh?
Whoa.
So how can we go get Trump then?
You gotta do like Nikki.
That was a great question. That's a great question.
You gotta do what Nikki Giovanni did yesterday. Nikki Giovanni and Angela Davis had a little special, and she was like, "Hey, I can go make them some biscuits."
There you go. Glass and oatmeal.
And Angela was like, "You're doing that old school slave stuff."
Hey, bro, John.
Yeah.
We don't have to get Trump.
Right.
Because Trump is the best advocate for Black empowerment in the past 100 goddamn years.
Break that down. Break that down.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah.
I'm about to break it down for you.
Okay.
See, Martin Luther King got Negroes believing what? They free. Martin Luther King got Negroes believing they happy. We arrived.
Come on.
Right before he died, what did he say? Damn.
I may have integrated my people to a burning house.
He made a mistake. Yeah.
I done fucked up. I have migrated my people into a burning house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The only way that you can get Negroes off of their ass is to take something from them. As long as they are comfortable, they're not going to do a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Trump, let me tell you like this. Had Hillary Clinton won the presidency 4 years ago, everything you see right now would not be going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you need, okay, let me break it down a little bit first. If you put some clothes into a washing machine and you don't put any detergent in and there is nothing, but water in there, you just put them in there. They're in the washing machine now. But the process of agitation is not going on. Would those damn clothes be clean just because you put them in water?
Nope.
Once they dry out, however funky they were,
it's gonna be worse.
they're gonna be funky when you take them out that goddamn water. And they dry. They might be funkier.
Yeah.
The only way to clean those clothes is through agitation. And you gotta have a cleaner. Well, what's the cleaner? Truth. Who's the agitator in this situation? Trump. So Trump is now agitating the process. Trump is not, you got Negroes believing that white supremacy just started with goddamn Donald Trump.
That's right.
You're right.
You got Negroes believing that there's a difference between Donald Trump and goddamn
Biden. That's not.
They're the same.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Clinton, same. They're all a part of the same. As a matter of fact, who he's really working for is not the Republican Party. He's working for the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
You said, well, how is he working for the Democratic Party? Because they want these Negroes to vote continuously Democrat, but see, they messed up. See, because Trump is so gangster with his theatrical role, it's been convoluted things. So you got Negroes who really are supporting Trump right now. For real.
Aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Passionately.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now the more information that comes out on Joe Biden, he got dementia. His ass is a pedophile. He's a goddamn racist too. So now it's like, oh. So now you got Negroes saying, well, okay, don't worry about all that. We got to get rid of Trump. The way you get rid of Trump, John, is by now mobilizing and organizing to take over local cities and counties and parishes and creating a system within a system.
Mm.
The thing about V, the V for Vendetta, he was only doing this through so-called violence, but guess what never happened? No grassroots people ever learned the system to take it over in order to bring forth a new government.
Mm.
Which means it is going to fail.
It's going to fail.
Because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Just because he killed that chancellor, hell, another evil chancellor is going to come up.
Yep. That's true.
Until the people take over the goddamn system.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just do this symbolically. You got to become a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
And the gangsterism is not in having to kill the chancellor per se or Donald Trump. The gangsterism is on taking over the land mass and creating the public policy that is going to help your people and even other people.
Interesting.
Does any of that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of sense.
See, because everything that was going on, Veronica, was being controlled by who? The government.
Oh, you talking about on V for Vendetta? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who controls everything in this society?
I guess Trump.
The government.
Russia. I'm just joking.
Karen, who controls?
Croatia.
Who controls whether or not Monsanto is going to have licensing to do all the goddamn seeds?
Government.
The government.
Karen, who controls whether or not y'all can ship agriculture across the water?
China.
I want to interject, Craig.
It was the truth.
Craig, I want to interject when you talked about the people have to take over the government. In theory, that's great, but if the people taking over government don't know why they're taking over and the purpose of the place, you still have a problem. So you have to educate the people as they're taking over government, or somehow educate them before they decide to take over the government. So how is all that working place?
Wait, Craig, no, before you answer that, let me say, Brother Kerry is happening right now as we speak. What do you think he's doing?
Exactly.
Well,
This is why we gotta have more people here.
No.
Everything we do is to educate and prepare.
No, I'm asking it from a historical perspective. When we're talking about the history of the civil rights and all that kind of stuff, and I definitely agree, people got a little something that they thought they had, but at the same time we lost. and I'm trying to figure out, well, other than BGN, but we're right. We're putting our infrastructure together. There really hasn't been any efforts to try to educate the people, understand why they needed to influence public policy.
No. There's been a lot of effort to educate, and that's the problem. That's not what is needed. Let me break this down for you, brother. The movie clearly shows you, okay, in V for Vendetta, the reason that the people were ready to move didn't have a goddamn thing really to do with education. He was creating physical reality against the system. So by now creating a physical reality against the system, just by blowing up the damn clock, okay, on November the 5th, the preceding year, and now letting them know that we're going to blow up Parliament the next year. And now what? He, by himself, started killing people, and now they started propagating who? V. Physical reality. And the people started to believe.
Right. They have to speak to believe. Correct. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So follow where I'm going with this. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Garvey, okay? None of them were focused on creating physical reality at the city and parish and county level. The only entity that we've had over the past 60 years that were focused on that was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And they didn't figure out what to really do until the early 70s. And by that time, it was too late because they had made too many mistakes. You see? So now when you go back to 1864, 1865, and you look at the time period from 1864 to 1944, Brother Kerry, Black people coming out of slavery created with 200 Black townships in America with very little resources. They were running their own goddamn town.
Well, you know,
and about 30 of them still exist today, right?
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, instead of seeing the benefit of that, he tried to now do what? Build a house from the roof down. Meaning go national before you go local. You can't build a house from the roof down. Because now the public policy that needed to be passed would have to go through what? Congress, the Senate. And so that's never going to happen. You can forget that. But you can take over public policy at the local level. So now, when it comes to agriculture, you can now create the policy where now from a food standpoint, those things can be addressed. But if you're looking for the federal government to do it, it's too many layers because you got to get the votes to make that happen. It's easier to get 5 or 6 votes at the local level than trying to get 100 and some votes or 200 votes at the federal level.
Yeah, but you don't think though in theory though, I'm not supportive of it, but if you go to the top and you try to influence at the top, well, but what should happen is you go to the top and you should be at the bottom at the same time. Really, is where it should really work. You have somebody at the top while you're at the bottom building up. But in the past, we've started to go from the top and it trickles down. This is a little bit I'm understanding now from the agriculture standpoint. Right now, because we're not organized, it's more beneficial to try to have some influence at the top because they are aware things are going on down our end. Not saying that they're going to put anything in place that's going to help us. Help directly help what we're going to do. But I'm just saying right now we don't have that organization on the agriculture side to have the influence that we should have.
It's not just the agriculture side, it's across the board. Because again, people have not tried to create the foundation from a grassroots standpoint. Now, when you create that foundation and you take over your local and your county, parish politics, now, guess what? You send your delegates to your state legislature to now advocate for what? Your local policy. Not the policies throughout the state, but your local stuff. Now you send your advocates and delegates to the federal level to advocate for what? Not national shit, but your local shit. So now white folks can now come off and say, you know what? Look what we did down there in goddamn Shreveport. We helped them goddamn Negroes. Okay? But they're not going to do that nationally now. They're not going to do that nationally, Kerry. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And black people just don't understand. So the way you accomplish the revolution is through taking over the public policy. You have to be willing to die to take over the policy creation. Because if you just get out there and talk about shooting the damn chancellor, the chancellor is just a goddamn figurehead. He ain't running the show. You think Donald Trump is running the show?
Yeah.
No.
Hell no.
There's a whole group of them.
There's a group of them.
It's a system.
It's a system.
And the system has already been vetted, and the people up there have already been hazed, and they are already in the mindset of
What do you mean vetted? No.
what I have to do.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the game.
Vetted by those that run the system, Brother John.
Okay. So yeah.
I mean, you have to be vetted, otherwise you wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be there if you weren't vetted, bro.
Anybody who's on that level has been vetted.
They've been vetted.
Regardless of skin color. They've been vetted.
Regardless of skin pigmentation, they've been vetted. They've been vetted. And when I sent the money in conjunction with V for Vendetta, he'll send this to you, you guys, this week. But I sent him earlier this week the compliment to V for Vendetta, which is Malcolm X's video speech called The Ballad of the Bullet.
Yes, sir.
It took Malcolm a long time to figure this out. And he still hadn't figured it out because he was still talking about taking the United States to goddamn world court. Like, who's gonna arrest the goddamn United States?
The UN.
Malcolm really thought he could take our case of oppression to the United Nations, but he didn't understand the game. The UN is controlled by the United States.
Which is why it's so funny to hear black people saying the exact same thing right now today. We're gonna take it to the world court. I'm like, man, you wasting time, energy, effort, money, and everything else.
To the world court. See, we don't understand the game, Brother Kerry. We don't understand the game. You got cancer. Like I had cancer back in 2013. So Kerry, how does cancer start? Any kind of cancer. It starts with what?
Cell?
It starts a small second or something, right? Then it grows.
Yeah, but it starts with how many seconds?
What do you say? I didn't hear the word.
It starts with one.
He said, how many cells does it start with?
Cells, okay. I didn't say yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
It starts with one cell becoming abnormal. And then they form a corner.
You trying to call Black Gold Nation a cancer, man?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is, when you analyze anything, we're looking at it from a multidimensional level, not just one dimension. So the same thing that happens negative for cancer can happen positive for good things.
And depending on the purpose of the cancer, it can be good because it can eliminate things that are destroying your body. So that's how you look at it. I ain't got no problem with that.
No, the powers be will look at us as a cancer. That's what happens. Even though
well, fine. That's okay. And the purpose of this cancer is to destroy that body. So I'm okay with that. Right. We'd be a cancerous spook that sat by the door all day long.
We got to become a cancer to the system of white supremacy.
Neo, the Matrix.
Exactly. That's what Neo did. He became a cancer to the system. Because they infect us, but we never infect them. Now, what do we infect them with? We got to infect the system with righteousness. But we got to be gangster in order to do it. And that's what V is letting you know. You got to be willing to kill. Look at what he told Creedy before they handed over the chapter, Brother Jay. He said, by the time, he said, thank you very much. Now, who did he make? Who killed, John, who killed the cancer?
His security guy? Head of security?
Yeah, the head
Was
of
that the security guy?
Yeah. Now, why did he have him kill her?
Because he's the one that could get the closest, right?
No, everybody was there. He could have killed him.
I don't know.
Why? Because everybody got to have dirt on their hands, bro.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He made him kill him. So guess what? He may have been videotaping, the whole situation.
Sure. It sounds like the mob, don't it?
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Have him videotape, because he was all about surveillance. Videotape him killing. Now you propagate that to the people. But the point is, he told it after he killed him. Now I'm gonna kill all y'all. And what he say? Man, you ain't got nothing but some goddamn knives.
Right.
And of course, he does his superhuman thing
Super
at that
duper.
point in time. But the point is, you got to be willing to die if you're going to promote an agenda that is outside of the agenda of what the system has designed.
Now, Craig, you mentioned Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and it reminds me, you talk about be willing to die. A lot of the times it seems like our leaders, our Black leaders, are going into it as individuals. Though they may have a team, they're going into it with their own set of agendas, So when they do that, they don't realize that when they do that, they're setting themselves up because the bigger picture already has a plan for you as you're coming in with your agenda. So it kind of reminds me of Dave Chappelle and what's the other guy, Cat Williams. They came in strong, strong force. But at some point they realized we've been bamboozled, and they tried to get the word out there, but they were suppressed so much in order to do that. In order to be able to do that, it kind of put them in a state of failing the Black people, not really telling us the truth, and at the same time being censored, So it's like a give or take. So you look at these leaders that come up, and they start off strong, but then after a while, that there's some kind of censorship there, that they can't speak. They really can't tell the truth. And I guess that becomes kind of discouraging sometimes.
Yeah.
Because here you are following, then it's like a stopping point,
Well, and what happens, Veronica, is, and I tell people this all the time, don't get in this game of doing advocacy work until you've really done enough research and observation. Mm-hmm. Because if you think this is play, you're going to find out real quickly that it ain't.
Right.
Because if you get out and try to be a whistleblower in a corporate, just like this female now who's blowing the whistle on the pharmaceutical companies who created the biological weapons, they're going to kill her ass.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna get killed. But before they kill you, they're gonna strip you of your money, and they're gonna ruin your family. So you gotta have people already understanding what this game is, because this is not romanticism. Mm-hmm. And since most people have never been a part of an organization, and I do agree with you that especially what we're putting together with the Black Gold movement, this has never happened before. I'm telling you right now. Although the Black Panther Party has some brilliant, phenomenal people in the organization, you had way too much idealism going on with those cats. Yeah, way too much idealism. And they were not rooted from a spiritual and cultural standpoint So they weren't able to really see a lot of the games that were going to be played against them, okay? Now, their existence was necessary for us to be able to analyze, research, study, analyze, so we don't make the same goddamn mistake, right? They were necessary to come ahead of us, similar to the Matrix. The architect in Matrix 2, even though we haven't gotten into that yet, I'm just gonna say this part. He lets Neo know, you ain't the first goddamn Neo to come through here. You like number 6, okay? And he said, we're getting better at oppressing y'all ass. You see? So we gotta get better at now countering what they do in order for us to rock and roll. But the point you're making is absolutely correct. If you go into these situations without a high level of enlightenment before you make your money status and materialism, it's gonna be pretty hard to reverse fear.
Yeah, and not just that, Brother Craig, but it is absolutely imperative that you have a group, a tribe, a nation behind you, because they are not only going to come after you, but they're going to try and strip everything that you've accomplished, everything that you have. But if you are surrounded, if you are buffered by people, thousands, millions, then they can't touch you. And even if they attempt to, then goddamn it, you touch them back. And we got to stalemate, and that's respect, and that's power. So we have to understand that if you're going to be involved in this thing, you not only need to understand what it's all about, but you absolutely must understand the importance of bringing people to this thing, because the only thing that can protect us is our people and those numbers. And that's what we've also missed, the importance of having not only a solid team and a solid group, but a tribe and a nation to protect you and push back. Seriously.
Exactly. And you know, Martin Luther King said something in one speech. He said it was easy to integrate lunch counters, but now when you start talking about this goddamn money, that's a whole game, yo.
Yes, sir.
You better be prepared, okay? And that's why I take my hat off to Kerry and our agricultural team, because the game that, you know, the micro game that they're in underneath our macro approach, man, this thing is serious, man. Even right down to the most basic element of food. And when you got people saying, we don't even want y'all ass to have seeds, goddamn it, that's serious, man. Is it not, Brother Kerry?
You're muted, brother. You're muted. You're muted, Kerry.
I got it. Okay. No, I know. No, absolutely. That's the core of everything right there, those seeds.
Mm-hmm. So my facto said we want to control the goddamn
Yeah.
God damn.
And even the seeds that are out there right now, because I've been looking to purchase on myself, it's hard to get them. Yes, but then they want to give you this GMO stuff. You know, they don't want to give you anything organic. You know, and they're changing even the labels on
Come
it.
on, man. Come on.
To get you to buy into just buying anything. You know, and so there's no proof to show. I mean, there's no way you can prove that it's an actual, you know, organic seed.
Exactly. Because there's no policy that regulates that label. They can just stick it on there. And the only way you're going to know is if we're doing what our team is doing and growing our own goddamn food.
So, yeah, you know.
How do we combat that then? How are we going to combat the fact that they're taking over even the seed implementation? How do we combat that?
No, well, I mean, they're taking over, but there are movements by people trying to grow the along the. Am I talking? Yeah, there are movements growing organic seeds. The bigger challenge is if you're growing organic corn, and your neighbor is growing GMO corn. If the pollen wind blows, the pollen from the GMO corn to the organic corn, your stuff is now contaminated. You know, that's a big issue right now. So I mean, a lot of people, even a lot of these farmers, are realizing now. Everybody's trying to get back to understand what we really were. I'm thinking too. That's why one of my options in the long term is we start looking at the Caribbean islands in Africa to start growing as backup plan. Once we get ourselves going first and understanding the whole system here, then we try to implement in those places. Because in those places, the big industrial complex, maybe it may be a problem in Africa, because you got China going there. But Chinese want organic products. Most of the people in the world want organic products, except here in the U.S. But the issue now is becoming land control and access to resources overall. That's the bigger picture. But back to what we're doing here, you can get seeds. You can get organic seeds for the things you want. It's just a little bit harder, and of course, it costs a little bit more. But you got to be careful that you don't integrate you don't grow anything organic into something GMO. And like you said, you have to know if something's GMO, because a lot of times they'll disguise it as something else. But it's interesting, the people I know that getting seeds, they have to order, and it takes a while to get it. And sometimes, like I said, it's not in stock, so they have to kind of wait for stuff to come in. That can have an impact on your growing season. But but they're movement even outside of our community to try to change things. So I mean, we can jump. We definitely want to plan to jump in on that. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with a seed supplier the other day about possibly becoming one of their I want to become one of their distributors. So then that would give us access to those organic and their heirloom seeds. But then we got our people to take those seeds and grow. And when you harvest, you keep the seeds that come back after the harvest. And that's when we have our own. That's when we have to create our own stuff at that time. So like it's already in front of us. It's easy, but we just have to make sure we follow through on it. And we have to educate our people as we do this.
And Linda, to Carrie's point, this is one of the issues that is not relegated just to African descendants in America. There are grassroots white people and other grassroots entities who do not like, this reality of Monsanto controlling this, But again, this is governmental policy that's allowing the private sector gangsters to come in and try to control everything that is in the structural dynamic of a person's life. So even when you're trying to eat healthy, they're trying to poison or control your ability to function.
Yeah.
So that's how serious the game is.
Yeah. And there's and I'm going to find it I'm not the segue of there's a story. I don't know if you ever heard about it. There's the guy at the YouTube on it, a white farmer who was growing with his own thing. Somehow the Monsanto clone seed got engaged with his. So now Monsanto was suing him, but they were saying they were selling his product with their seeds, when actually he wasn't doing it, but because of the natural things and stuff migrated over there, they just used his seeds. And they took him, he was a little guy, so they took him to court forever. But he actually won his case after like 4 or 5 years.
Does that not highlight the importance of growing indoor in a greenhouse?
Well, you can, but you still, people I know who are really enthusiastic and growing, they'll argue with you. You're not going to get the same natural elements out of real soil. I mean, out of hydroponics, you're going to get out of soil. Now, what you're going to do in hydroponics, you're going to take the vitamins and nutrients that come in soil and try to put them in there, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
Aquaponics is close to it, but like I said, we get all the details of that later. But whole idea is, my thing is that we need to address all of it. I think we need to be trying to figure out how all of it works for us. The whole idea is making sure we get food all over the place.
Yeah, and the importance of that, Brother Kerry, is we need to do that not only with agriculture, but every aspect of our lives, education, politics, spirituality, because the Monsantos of all those industries exist, and all of them are anti-black.
Anything with people, if they're a commodity they can control or monopolize.
Yes, sir.
It's all about somebody else making money.
Right. And if we allow them to continue to do that, we're gonna lose.
Yeah. We just got to on that. So.
Hey, I wanted to before we close out, I wanted to get y'all's take in terms of the movie on what did you think about the fact that no matter what B did, before he had to finally put her in prison, perceived prison, no matter what he did to try to help her see the system for what it really was, she was unwilling to do so and was trying to still be connected to the Matrix. What did y'all think about
conditioning is deep and it's real.
It
It is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Tara?
Yeah, no, I think that that's it. I mean, she was struggling. I mean, she had been indoctrinated with a certain belief system, and here he is opening her eyes to something else. And she's like, well, wait a minute. This like flies in the face of what I know to be true, or
Everything.
at least what I
That's right.
think is
That's
true.
Right. That's right.
But it's making sense, so I need to pay attention. But, you know, it was a struggle until she was put in prison.
She felt, I believe she was stuck, you know, between the fact that what she was, like you said, Tara, what she was indoctrinated with, and then the actual truth. And that's a hard pill to swallow, you know? And so she was struggling with it. She was. I saw that.
I think she kind of experienced like one of those matrix experiences. You're like, you know, you see it from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to pull yourself out of the norm and be able to see things from a different lens. And once she was able to see that, because a lot of times she would look back like, okay, you know, so she's like comparing both realities. And she had to find the truth for herself, you know, regardless of what she was used to. She had to be able to see both of them. It's like, no, that's actually true, no matter what they're saying.
Exactly. Great point.
Yeah. And I think that's the part, because Tara and I rewatched it last week down in Houston, and the point she's making about the news media questioning, that's what Evie started to do after a period of time, because she's seeing and been around the
truth, right?
So look at what they did. Every time that he's done something to kill one of them, they'll put their propaganda out and spin it.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Because they did not want to give credit to a person who is supposed to be of lesser power than the system. That this person could reach out and touch people that's a part of this cabinet. And so they say, oh, he died of a heart attack. He died, you know, overdose, shit like that. Because they didn't want, because now you start to let grassroots people know, oh, we can reach out and touch their hands. Now, here's the question. Who were the people that the system, the architects and engineers, who are the people that they use to keep everybody in control?
The people.
The media.
Oh, you say the media.
Yeah, was it not the media?
It's just regular people. Whether it's the media, whether it's the military, whether it's the people working in the hospital, these are just regular people who are trying to get a goddamn check.
Oh yeah, who are plugged into the system? Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Right.
And they're being used by the system. To further the agenda.
It's a vicious cycle.
So think about it. The military was prepared to kill all of the grassroots people simply for protest. But those same military people are just regular people. The only difference is they've got them convinced that they are doing some kind of righteous code, and you know, they're really pushing freedom. You know, Brother Tamani used to be a part of that shit.
How dare you? I was trying to escape the small city in South Carolina.
Brother Tamani got in that military. I'm gonna go fight for democracy.
I was motivated by the GI Bill.
People were. I know a lot of people like that.
Most of us are like that. That's why we go in. We ain't trying to be patriotic. The hell with all that.
Hey, Brother T, I remember in 1990, I was living in Nashville, and one of my friend girls, she was going to Tennessee State, and she was a part of the Army Reserve. And you know, they made that call up in January for the first person Gulf War.
Yeah.
And she's like, Craig, this is my graduation year.
Right. That's
I don't
right.
want to die.
Yeah.
I said, what the fuck you thought your job was?
To kill. Period. That is right. That is right.
Yeah.
They said I was gonna be able to get my degree. That's crazy.
Yeah, when you get back.
Yeah, we forget that part.
If you get back.
Yeah, right.
We forget that everybody's fundamental job in the military, I don't care what you do, everybody goes through basic training to learn how to kill, period. And they will reclassify your ass if they need more people to shoot it, to pull the trigger. I've seen it happen. Wow. Well, I got the fuck out. Excuse my French.
Exactly.
And I am not joking. I don't care what your job is. If they need some boots on the ground, they will reclassify you. It happens.
So V had to go through, after multiple times trying to deal with Evie's ass in a civil and sensible level, he had to finally say, you know what? I'm going to have to stay putting your ass in prison.
That's right.
I got to break you down to make you get this shit because you don't want to get it.
Yeah, you refuse to listen to reason in reality. Which is real.
There's a lot of people like that.
Which is, most of us are like that, Sister Linda. Most of us, and that's why I say in the presentations, we refuse to accept reality despite the fact that the evidence is everywhere of our condition. It is everywhere, but we refuse to see it because we believe that it's not that bad. Somebody's going to come save us. It's going to be different. We believe some pie in the sky crap despite the fact that the reality of our existence and our powerlessness and our psychological sickness and our lack of ability to stand on our own 2 feet. I mean, we can't do anything without white people. That's a problem.
You know what I'm finding, just to speak on, to touch on what you just said and to piggyback on that, is that even when I've approached about 100 people in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And I find that 99% of them have the same thing where you present the truth, you present what's happening, but they still don't, they're like, oh, I don't know, or I'll get back to you, or maybe, or yeah, it sounds good, but they don't really grasp. Right. How do you deal with that? Because that's impactful. How do you deal with that?
One, you really can't spend too much time on it. What I do is I give a person 4 chances of me inviting them to something 4 different times, and if after that 4th time they don't show up, I take them off my list. We have enough black people out here to save. We don't have to spend time on one black person for too long because we don't have that kind of time. And like I say, if we're looking for one strong black person in the top 245 cities, that one strong black person would draw the other people in, and that's all we need. We don't need everybody. We don't want everybody, and we don't have time to waste on people who just refuse to see it. So if after the 4th attempt, I keep moving.
So what if, and that's a great point, which segues into what I'm about to say. So what if there are people who are very interested, but they don't see the total infrastructure in place? They have questions about that part because it doesn't look like we have it all together.
Have they seen the presentation? Have they seen the presentation? No.
Some have, yeah.
They have. Okay, if they have
some have, not all, of course.
Okay. I mean, if they have seen the presentation and they have questions, I think since I started doing this thing in November of 2016, I think I had one question in 4 years that I couldn't answer, and I was able to refer that person to somebody in leadership, and they got their question answered. If people are genuinely curious, then this is where they need to be, because nobody is doing. I mean, think about what we're doing right now. We're talking about a movie, and how that movie is so relevant to what's happening right now. How we can learn from it, how we can maneuver from it. How many black people should be on this call? Seriously.
All of them.
Yeah. Who has a Craig Lee in their organization? If they have a Craig Lee, do they have a Craig Lee and a Kerry Jr.? Do they have a Craig Lee and a Kerry Jr. and a Linda Blake? A sister with years of experience in construction and real estate? No one has, not only does no one have our leadership, but no one has our strategy, our understanding. Who's trying to pay Black people to liberate and save Black people? Who has lived in a community owned and controlled by Black people for 20 years? People aren't doing what we're doing because they don't understand what we're doing. You know, Brother Craig, excuse me, who has a Harlan Robinson? When you guys really learn and understand how deep Brother Harlan goes, it is absolutely phenomenal. The things that he worries about is what is most of us don't even understand is an issue.
Yeah.
So again, Linda, if someone is sincerely interested, and I do mean sincerely, and I'm just trying to pontificate, intellectually masturbate, want to question every damn thing. If you are seriously interested, then you're going to be a part. Because just me alone, just me, I'm just talking about myself. What I am doing right now, I have been trained to do by Black people, literally for 20 years. My kids have been raised in the kind of environment I'm trying to build for all Black children. That video clip that Brother Craig put out where Malcolm makes his speech, the Battle of the Bullet, as I told you guys, that was given at the Shrine in Detroit.
Yeah, I saw
He
that.
literally thanks Reverend Clay, which is the founder of the Shrine. So how many Black people are you going to come across that has my background? And I'm just talking about me. You're not going to find too many. And if you do, chances are they're members of the Shrine. And what I am doing, which is what the Shrine made a mistake in not doing, I realized that the Shrine had holes. And those holes are being filled by Brother Craig Lee, by Brother Kerry Jr., by Sister Linda Blake, by Brother Harlan Robinson. So what I am doing is taking all that good stuff that the Shrine got right, and we got a lot of stuff right. But those holes that we had, I'm filling those holes. So we can deliver to Black people a unified solution of revolutionary best practices that work, not based on pontification, not based on assumption, but based on the expertise of the people that are leading it. What we're doing with Project 2021, which is what Malcolm was talking about doing, Brother Craig has done it in Shreveport. So what people are talking about doing with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Brother Harlan has done it. What we're talking about doing in agriculture, Brother Kerry, Brother Robert, Brother Jerry, and Wadamu Kwabena, they have done. So if any person is sincere, Linda, and I do mean this, if they're sincere and they're looking, this is it. Because there ain't nothing else out there like this. And I know that because I've been looking and I know where I come from.
And Linda, let me say this too. And you know, Brother T gives them 4 chances. I get a punk ass 3.
He lied. He give him 2. He is so impatient. He give him 2. He gonna say, nigga, what? And then he out.
Hey, Brother Craig and Brother T, I want to piggyback on both of you. Okay. You know, I have years of experience in marketing, and we're dealing with, you know, trying to get folks into it, you know, businesses or even, you know, things like this. People's interest, it depends on when you talk to them about it. If you talk to them 8 o'clock in the morning and a presentation at 7 o'clock in the evening, they may make it, but that's not like a guarantee. I try to do most of my invites more towards the end of the day because the events happen towards more so the end of the day. A lot of folks get in the mornings and things like that. They think you're trying to sell them something. And then if they talk to someone else about it, they're going to talk them down, you know, even talking to their parents, you know. So I do a lot of my talking more so at the end of the day because I want their mind strictly thinking about that.
Let me add on to that, Brother John, before you say your piece, Brother Craig, because you were about to say something. That is why what you're saying, Brother John, that's why I tell everybody, don't have an extended conversation.
It's not a conversation.
I'm telling you, brother, you ask a very simple, open-ended question, then you leave it there. You don't
that's
send
what I'm saying to you.
I'm sorry?
My question is, do you feel like your children are that important for their future or whatever? That's it. Yes.
Right. And when they say yes, you send them to the website and you are done. You don't refer them to the main website because it's too much information. You don't try and explain to them how important their leadership is. It's too much. You ask them a very simple, open-ended question.
But what I'm saying to you is that's not enough. You still have time frame between the beginning of the day after they signed up and towards 12 hours later for them to think about different things or whatever. You know, and that's where I've seen in the past where a lot of these MLMs and everything else have failed because you have to keep that person's interest. And if you're a marketer, you're going to stay on that person to try to keep them interested, I don't do that. Basically, towards the end of the day, hey, do you feel like your children are more important for their future, your black kids? Yes. Will you please see a presentation? They jump in.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but if it's more so toward the beginning of the day and they sign up, they may think about it.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important that we follow up. You have to follow up, but you don't follow up with more information. You follow up and say, you know, are you still interested in seeing the presentation?
Correct.
Are you still interested in that question? Whatever. All I'm saying, brother, is that we have to keep it high level, because if we get too detailed, like you said, we will think ourselves out of it, not understanding that we're killing ourselves.
Right.
So we don't make the connection between reality and what we're trying to do. Go ahead. Wait, Veronica. Brother Craig was going to say something.
And Leonard, you know, with me having done this now for 25 years, for example, this morning, one of my classmates, I'm 2 years older than she is, but she's in Dallas, and I made the post about the Negro savage up in Milwaukee who murdered all 5 of his family members last week. And I have a saying, and I do it sarcastically, but I'm serious when I say it as a byproduct of the pseudo-homosexual, anti-life, so-called Black Lives Matter movement. And I say, until Black lives begin to matter to unconscious savage Negroes, they will never matter to any other ethnic group, especially our oppressors, right?
Yeah.
So this morning she said, in response to that, basically, I'm tired of Black people trying to connect Black Lives Matter to crimes where Black on Black crime. We need to just leave that alone and focus on the positive. Right, okay. Because all ethnic groups commit crimes against each other. So this, and I thank Facebook for this, because the proximity argument is something that's been made when we now have to talk about real issues that we are the only people that can solve them, okay? So in response to her, now I know this is a sister who don't do no grassroots work in Dallas, right? She good people, but she don't do no grassroots work, okay? I've been doing this shit for over 3 decades.
Wow.
25 years in Shreveport. I got 50 PhDs in niggerology, niggermetrics, crackatosis, crackatology. I study Negroes. I know they ass better than they mammies know, okay? I said to this sister, the proximity argument that you're attempting to make is irrelevant to this discussion. And I said, you don't even understand what I'm saying, but I'm gonna break it down to you. Melanated people of African descent make up approximately 15% of the United States population, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
On an annual basis, there are approximately 13 to 15,000 murders, total murders in this country. All right? I want you to follow me now. The Negroes make up 15% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
There are between 13 to 15,000 murders annually. What ethnic group makes up the majority of those goddamn murders?
White?
No.
How?
Black people commit, not black, but unconscious melanated Negro savages, commit over 52% of the total goddamn murders in the goddamn country.
Wow.
White folks represent 60% of the population in this country. But they commit roughly 43% of the goddamn murder. Now, this is pretty basic. If crackers represent the majority of the population and they commit 43% of the goddamn murders, and we make up 15%, but we kill, well, unconscious Negro savages, because they ain't our goddamn people. But they murder 52%. Common sense should tell you that's a goddamn issue. Now let me show you how our people don't want to deal with reality. Now, the same 15% population represents over half of the prison industrial complex. Follow me now. Now, you got everybody and their mama. Ooh, prison industrial complex. We need to get people out of jail. That's wrong. Black folks. So when it's some shit that benefits their narrative, they cool with saying black. But when some shit that now you got to deal with Pookie and Ray motherfucking ass and get their punk ass to understand this got to stop. Because it's good for us to get riled up over the white boy that done killed Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. But goddamn, this Negro done killed his son, his goddamn baby mama, another nephew of that lady, and 2 females. Huh? But we ain't supposed to say nothing. What I'm saying to you, Linda, is our people, and Dr. Joy DeGruy talks about this in her book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Our people are fucked up. I want you to understand this now.
Fair to say.
People are fucked up. And those of us who are serious are like on this call. And so, Brother T give them 4 chances. I don't get a punk ass for 3. Because I'm going to do the work. He talking about 2. I'm going to mobilize and organize with the willing and ready. Veronica is willing and ready. Linda is willing and ready. Tyra is willing and ready. John is willing and ready. I've been doing this goddamn work damn near by myself. Battling the whole system. And check this out. Then you start to create a following. I don't get caught up in no drugs. I ain't got no damn vices. I ain't got no 15 baby mamas walking around the goddamn street. Okay? I ain't never committed no damn crime. So we got to be on a higher level, because now when they come with the bullshit, because all they're really doing is figure a way of not being the goddamn involved. I'm just being honest with you.
Fair.
And they want to try to make it seem like it's some intellectual ass thing. So when I hear most of those people are not even involved with the NAACP, they ain't involved with the Urban League, they ain't involved with the Black Chamber. If you're trying to question an organization and you ain't never been involved in an organization, I really ain't got shit to say to you. Because if what Brother John and Brother Tamani is saying, if I invite you, if I ask you the question, are you concerned about the future of your children? And you say yes, I say, look, I would like to invite you to a discussion that we're having. And if you don't want to participate, I'm like, okay, I'll give you a couple more chances. After that, I ain't got shit to say to you. I'm going to let Donald Trump do the talking for me. I need Trump to put a fire under these Negroes' ass. And that's the reality of the game, because the Negro does not believe that fat meat is grease. Martin Luther King got these people believing that freedom means I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. And Donald Trump gonna show your punk ass that ain't true. And I ain't got no problem with it, because they don't want to listen to us. So let the white folks know they punk ass. And trust me, Linda, I get calls all the time. Mr. Craig, my son, This one chick called me, my son got juvenile life. Yeah, he was a terrorist and whatnot. Can you help him? I said, ma'am, his ass needs to be in jail for life. Huh? Hell yeah. Shit, I ain't got no problem telling you that punk ass Negro needs to be in jail for life.
Right.
The majority of these people believe that it's okay to perpetrate crimes against black females, black males, elderly. I don't give a goddamn. So, because some of these Negroes, we going to have to take out our goddamn self. And I'm just being honest with you. So all you got to do is keep on maneuvering within this group, and then you maneuver. We got a few projects. You'll be able to kind of vet a few people in your area. Simple things that we do here in Shreveport to be able to get people on point. But as you start to do things and you start to generate money, status, and materialism, the people who are willing to roll, they'll link up with you. They'll link up with you.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so important that's why it's so important that we make this thing a part of our daily time ritual. And you know, I'm not talking about a lot of time. You know, I'm talking about 300 seconds. And you guys have heard me talk about the one getting one thing a lot. And I only talk about one getting one because I'm keeping it simple.
Right.
But what if 10 got one, and instead of it being one getting one, it's 10 getting 10.
Right.
But I want to talk about one getting one. I'm keeping it simple. So if everybody on this call spent 300 seconds trying to get one person to a presentation, then that 1.3 billion in a month it's there for the taking. But we don't believe that it's possible. So not everybody is doing what they can do to get people to it. And what we have to understand, and I was talking to one of the brothers last night, the black people that we need to move our people forward, they're probably 10, 11, 12 years old right now. So we're going to have to raise the kind of leadership that we need. But to do that, we need stuff. We need support. We need institutions. We need security. And we can't do that. That's why that's why everything we do, you know, we do for a reason. We keep it simple.
And we need money.
And $5. Say
we definitely need money. I said we definitely need money.
Gotta have it, because you can't do anything without money, right? Yeah. And you know, if we are constantly trying to bring the people on board, then the money's gonna come because people will bring the money. But anyway, we gotta close this thing out. Veronica, what were you about to say? Do you remember by any chance? You were about to say something before Craig?
I think I was gonna say that people are afraid to lose what they have. That includes their circle of friends, their and things like that. So a lot of the times you can come to them, Linda, with this great opportunity, but in the back of their mind, they're thinking, what is that going to cost?
Exactly.
So, involved with the NAACP, which I've been involved, but one event a year, you know, setting up a Martin Luther King parade, setting up a Martin Luther King dinner or breakfast, something like that. That's not going to hurt you. That's not going to hurt your identity or anything like that, right? But when you're talking about surface stuff, when you're talking about doing some real work, they're not willing to do that because their colleagues are going to look at them a certain way, you know, or you're going to have to speak up on things and some injustices that maybe it's not going to be liked.
Right.
So when you say, hey, I need you to come to this presentation, they know what's up, but they're not really ready to lose what they already have. Because where's the security going to be for me? What is that going to look like?
And you know that's a very good point, which is I did a presentation last night, and I had a sister who was, as usual, blown away, loved everything, and she said, after all that, she said, can I just be a supporter? Can I just get my $5? And hey, I'm like, by all means, because we now Craig, in the back of my mind, I'm laughing like you laughing. I'm like, what? But I understand, like Linda said, we need that money, right? So I know that like Veronica's saying, I know that most of our people are only going to want to give $5, and when they do, they're gonna feel like Malcolm X. I am Marcus Garvey. I'm Harriet Tubman. I gave my $5. But like Brother Craig just said, we need people who are willing to reach out and touch somebody to make sure they understand we are not playing with you and we are serious. That ain't our people. That's not the majority of our people. But those hitters exist, right? So we know that the majority are only going to give $5, and then they're gonna complain, God damn it, what you do with my money? Where's it at? Blah blah blah. And I'm talking about 305 minutes. They might give 2, if that, but we already know that going into it because, like Brother Craig said, our people are messed up, completely messed up. You know,
so different levels to it too, because there's some Avery. I mean, what's her name on the? Is it Evie? Was that her name?
On the movie, yes, Evie.
There is some Evie. I consider myself like an Evie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're going backwards, and you're like, you know, okay, there's a process.
By all means,
some people are ready.
Yeah.
And there's some people that want to give that $5. Some people may even want to give you a donation of 100 or 1,000.
Sure.
I can't be involved. I can't have my name attached, but here's a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? But there are some what's her name again?
Evie.
There's some Evies out there that is going to take some time, and you need some people on your team that are willing to go to them more than 3-4 times because they've already been suppressed for so long.
Sure.
It's a condition.
Great point.
And it's real. And it's real.
Right.
And it's
they
real.
can be powerful.
Right.
They're probably powerful in their own rights and their own careers, but and at some point they will come to that light.
Right. And you know that is why
them eventually.
That's why we have to ask everybody.
Yes.
Because we don't know who the Evies are. We don't know who the Malcolm X's are. All of our children are Malcolm Little. You know, we don't know who's willing to do what.
Right.
We don't know what they bring, who they're connected to, what they're motivated by, what they will or what not do. So we cannot make the assumption. I got the word that I'm talking to now. It is a mistake for us. Kara, it ain't that damn funny. It is a mistake for us to assume that a black person will say no based on whatever. And even if you know this nigga ain't gonna do nothing, you say, okay, I understand that saving black children is not important to you. But give me 2 or 3 people who you think might be down. And we absolutely must ask everyone. Like Brother John said in MLM. Most people have a problem with multi. I love the MLM concept because to me it just makes sense, and every corporation is a damn pyramid. So in MLM, you have to ask everyone, and even when people say no, you follow up with give me a name or 2. But we don't do that. We don't do that. We only ask. We think, okay, who is already down, who's already doing, who's already black or whatever. And then we only want to go after those persons, not understanding that there are Evies out there.
Yep.
And they're not stupid, they're not lazy, they're not anti-black, they just don't know. So when we ask everybody, we create for ourselves an opportunity to build what needs to be built if we're not going to become a permanent underclass. Go ahead, Brother Craig.
Yeah, and Brother T, when you start to do the work, the projects, because it does get back to what Veronica said. But when you start to do the work, people start to think. And she's right. I understand that there are individuals who may be perceptively bourgeoisie, but behind the scenes, they'll be like, Craig, come pick up a check.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody know I gave you something.
And don't give my name, no doubt.
Which I wouldn't, because I understand.
Sure.
Okay? Yeah. And we need those people inside of corporate America,
yes, sir.
inside of, hospitals. We need those particular individuals because, as John and a few other people indicated, V had to have some help.
Yes, sir.
And he probably did.
Yep.
Okay. We got to have help. The thing that Marcus Garvey could never get were the technocrats that Veronica is talking about.
Yep.
Those technocrats rolled with W.E.B. Du Bois. That's how W.E.B. Du Bois put together the Talented 10. Now, what's funny is Du Bois was not enlightened when he put the damn Talented 10 together. And how do I know he wasn't enlightened? Because before he died, what was he, Brother T? What had W.B. Du Bois become? A Pan-African.
Before he died?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a Pan-Africanist. Yeah, he was down for the people after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the front end, he was promoting bourgeoisism.
Yes, sir.
He was promoting Talented 10.
Yep.
So he evolved. Now Carter G. Woodson, who was the second black person to get the PhD from Harvard, Carter G. Woodson was rolling with Marcus Garvey.
Harvey, right?
You know, but he was also a part of the Boule
Yes, sir.
initiative. He got out.
You gotta tell them what the Boule is, Brother Craig.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the Negro parallel to the Skull and Bones, you know.
Now you gotta tell them what Skull and Bones is. Why don't you just use plain English? Damn it, you confuse the people.
And the Skull and Bones Secret Society.
There you go. Thank you.
To control this world, and these entities exist in the Black community.
Yep.
And it's so funny, Veronica. There's a young little mentee that I have right now here in Shreveport. His name is Greg Powell. His father is a doctor here, and his aunt and uncle are two of the wealthiest people in the world. Juanita Powell Barranco and Greg Barranco. They own automotive dealerships and banks in Atlanta and shit. I mean, Greg is here, right? So we launched the Xavier Alumni Chapter, because both of us are Xavier alumni from New Orleans. And he's the president, I'm the vice president, but I'm cultivating him in politics. And I say, Greg, the thing I like about you, you grew up as a bourgeoisie Negro, but you got street in you. You connected to the grassroots. I grew up in the street, grassroots, never committed no crime, but I got the corporate game down. So we're hybrid, but we're just different types of hybrid. I need you to move forward because we got to get other hybrids involved. So my queen, Tara, that's why I'm working with her. She's a corporate entity, but she's coming into her own. So I don't just discount you just because, oh, you Delta, you AKA, you some, you know, things like, no, I don't do that. But I am going to listen to see if you talking that bourgeoisie shit. And if you're talking it, I'm like, okay, well, we can have a conversation and see whether or not we can rock and roll.
Wait,
but
who's Delta?
Huh?
Delta.
Yeah, the queen is Delta.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the queen is Delta.
There you go, girl. Okay, you should have said that from the jip.
and look what's so funny about that, Veronica. In '95, I was at a wedding in Atlanta, and I just finished reading about some stuff about Shirley Chisholm. And so I go to the wedding, this is my sister's friend. And I just finished reading that Shirley Chisholm, people from the islands and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm at the damn reception, me and my mom sitting down. I say, God damn, that look like Shirley Chisholm. And so I say, Shirley. And my mama say, who you calling that to? I say, hold on, mom, I got business to handle. So it was Shirley Chisholm. Man, we talked. And when you Shirley Chisholm and her famous statement of being unbought and unbought.
And unbought, that's right.
Oh, I love it. So Tara and you, I would never discount sisters because they are Greek or brothers because they're Greek, because I understand they're pursuing sisterhood and brotherhood, right? So Winnie Mandela is a soldier, goddammit. But she's also a goddamn Delta. So I'm partial to the Deltas, not only because of Tyra, but because of these iconic grassroots advocates. But we got to get them involved in the real work, right?
Yes, sir. It means you got to ask.
Hey, look, right, the Deltas got, let me show you how serious Deltas are. Brother T, they got a youth male mentorship program. Follow me now. The goddamn Deltas.
The sister organization.
Got a youth male mentorship program called Embody. And they had me as their lead trainer for the young brothers. So you say, now why would a sorority be trying to do a damn program for young black males?
Right.
And the sister said, because we got granddaughters.
And they got to marry somebody.
You got that right.
Right.
So I don't know no so-called conscious Negroes that do the work that Deltas do, aka Omega, they talk a lot of shit now.
No doubt.
They talk a lot of shit.
And are quite deep.
About 5G.
That's right. All that.
But the ones that I see doing the work are the Deltas, the Sigmas, the AKs. So you got to learn how to maneuver with those people. And sometimes, Linda, you got to even be willing to allow yourself to be disrespected by some of them. You know, like their ego with his African ass. You know? You know, and it's cool. I laugh about the shit, to be honest with you. But you got to get to that point of understanding that the goal of Black empowerment is bigger than your individual personality, your individual feelings. And then you got to ask yourself, shit, these people got talked about. Who am I? Malcolm got lied on and talked about. Who am I? King got talked about. Who am I? And once I got to that level, it takes a while. But a lot of the stuff that you, Veronica, Tara, Carrie, anybody else who is committed to this game, a lot of stuff you ain't gonna have to really go through the struggle of learning, because I've done it and I can teach you how it's done, and you can bypass that lesson. But Veronica is completely right. Some of these people are good people. They clicked up and they don't want to lose their friends. So let them be spooks. No, I ain't got no problem with that. Just cut that down.
And everybody got a role to play. Everybody has a role to play. So our job is not to try and make sure we only bring in Malcolm X. Our job is to say, wherever you are, damn it, you got something that you can bring. And we want you to bring that thing, as long as it is accompanied by $5 in 5 minutes. And if we can only get one, then we'll take it and boogie on, because we have too many issues. We have too many things that are against us. Like I say, we're born into a war that we didn't start. We're surrounded on every front. Most of our people had to be educated to the fact that we're in a war, and with 300 years behind them preparing to fight it. You can't be picky with that kind of odds. That's why Brother Craig and I, we would never publicly speak out against any organization, be it a church, be it a Greek fraternity, be it a nonprofit. We have our own conversations one-on-one about the NAACP, but you would never hear us say anything publicly, because that's stupid. Because again, everybody got a role to play. Okay, it's 11:22. Brother Kerry and I got a meeting. It's supposed to start at 11. So Brother Craig, you have anything else you want to say per the movie?
I'm just gonna tell Linda and John there, when we talk about raising money. When I first met Tamani, the damn dues was like $4, and I'm like, man, what the goddamn dues? $4. He said, well, really, I don't want to. I say, man, look, man. Goddamn $4. $5, goddamn. He want to start $5, man. I'm like, come on, bro.
Hey, Brother Craig. I just saw that video for the $4. Damn, he up charges already.
Now you know where it came from. That was not my idea. But anyway, this simply highlights the importance of having other people that bring other stuff to the table. That's all.
Yeah, because I say, John, come on. I say, bro, if you can't afford $5 goddamn dollars, we don't need it, bro. I mean, I'm just $60 a goddamn year now. Come on, bro.
Hey, I got one more thing to say before we roll out. Brother Craig, I sent you a friend request. But back to the movie real quick. The Wachowskis, I saw a movie that they had carnivore. They were cannibals were eating the rich. Is that next?
No, I hadn't selected the next one, but I have to view that one. I hadn't seen that one yet. But we got another one. Let me see. They got another one. I got to see Cloud Atlantis, because they put that in there. I got to see what that's all about. But put that down. Send that to me as a recommendation.
All right.
So does anyone have any questions or comments to Brother Craig about the movie V Vendetta as we wrap this thing up? Anybody got any questions or comments for Brother Craig?
It was great.
Hey, that was powerful.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, let me wrap this thing up. And of course, I got to bring all this stuff home, make it personal and relevant, because that's why we here. Now, don't answer this. Don't answer these two questions. I just want y'all to think about it. Don't answer it. Just think about it. How many black people need to know about everything we just discussed? Just think about it. How many black people need to know about everything we just discussed as it relates to that movie and Black life? Just think about that. And then think about how many people could benefit from this kind of conversation coming from a movie as we relate that to Black life. Those two things, the importance of what we're doing, how many people could benefit from it, and how many people need to know. Now think about the most recent murder, the lynching by the Slave Patrol of brother Ahmaud. I'm not sure if it's Arbery or Arbery, but the brother in Georgia.
Arbery.
Arbery. Now I do want you guys to answer this question. What could have either prevented or brought about justice quicker for this brother who was murdered? What could have prevented it, or what could have been done after it was done to ensure that justice is swift? Anybody?
Crowd of black folks that just ran up to the police station, just demanded, justice.
Okay. Anybody else?
White folks would have did that if it was them.
Amen. Anybody else? Well, white folks wouldn't have to, but anybody else?
Exactly.
You say after it happened?
Yeah, that could have either prevented it before it happened, or could have brought about a justice in a swifter, quicker manner after it happened.
Well, as it relates to prevention, not running through a white neighborhood.
Dig it? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, similar to what John is saying, a mobilized, organized group of about 1,000, 2,000 deep.
Yes, sir.
Rolling up in that community and to the police station, as well as having black elected officials
there you go.
To make sure that this situation is addressed.
Right. Okay. So I have the main thing that could have prevented it is control of the environment. If you're running through your own community, you good. And we all know that you should be able to run anywhere you want to, but goddamn it, this is still America. So that's the first thing. If we are able to control the environment, then these things don't happen. That's the first thing. After these things happen, what could make justice quicker and or more swift is, like Brother Craig just said, political pressure. If we have political power, we can put political pressure on people to move that much quicker. If we had our own national media, then 2.5, 3 months later, the story isn't just coming out because we're covering it because we have national media. As opposed to a bunch of black people going to the police department, organized pushback is extremely important, but it has to be organized pushback. And the lack of security as it relates to taking care of our people is also an issue. And the last one is being able to let people know at some point, people are going to have to think twice about hurting one of our own, because they're going to suffer some retribution, be it politically, be it economically, be it physically or otherwise. All of these things are, of course, what we are working on doing right now. Mm-hmm. We're not having this movie review just to talk about a damn movie.
Correct.
We're having these movie reviews to try and plant some seeds to awaken our people to another way of thinking. Everything we do for a reason. We're not trying to bring black people together just to bring black people together. We're trying to bring black people together so black children will have a snowball's chance in hell of surviving in America. And like Sister Linda said, we're not going to make it if we don't have no money. Who has the ability to bring 1.3 billion in a month if not black people?
Exactly.
Everything we do because we understand that we exist and live in a hostile environment. And if you have children, you should really be worried. Because even if our children don't understand what it really means to be black in America, as adults, we do. And if we're not doing every single thing we can to ensure that they are taken care of, and I'm not talking about today, tonight, or tomorrow, but I'm talking about in the near future, 6, 8, 9, 10 months down the road, we're putting things in place to take care of our children, to ensure that we have political power, to ensure that we can secure them, to ensure that we got national media, we can organize and push back. I've said this several times, that if Trayvon Martin was my son, I swear to God, Zimmerman would not be walking this planet. I promise you that. Because like Brother Craig accurately says, yes, I was in the military, but what he failed to mention is that I was trained. And I remember, and I train now. But it can't just be me. We got to have people who are willing to, like Veronica was saying, put some glass in the oatmeal kind of thing. We got to be willing to get our hands dirty because they've been getting their hands dirty for a very long time. And don't get it twisted. These white boys about to sweep this thing under the rug.
Oh,
they were not planning for this thing to come out, and it did.
Nope.
Right? So we got to understand the importance of what we're doing. We got to understand that if Brother Craig is putting in this kind of intellectual capital to give us some insight to a movie, then goddamn, we can at least invite one black person. So next week, I'm sorry, we're doing this every 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, when we do the next one, the second and fourth Saturday is when we're going to do this. So at the next one, it should be twice as many black people because you guys understand what he's bringing. You understand the importance of what he's bringing. You understand that his intellectual capital is important. And when I first got this thing started, he and I did not know each other. We had an initial interaction, and he was like, "I don't know about this nigga. He might just be talking." That's a quote. That's a quote. But then he realized, well, he might have some sense. And I had enough sense to not only listen to him, but ask him to be a part because he brings something that I don't have. And if you have an organization that think that they have all the answers or the right solutions, they don't need no help, they're probably full of crap. Because no one has everything.
And look, I'm saying, and he's not lying. I haven't been doing this stuff for over 2 decades. I've been approached by a lot of people, and I'm like, okay, like, what the hell, bro? I'm gonna check you out. So I checked him out, and he was dedicated and committed. And the thing about it is that they carry him and able to do things. I know we got to do a macro construct, but again, the foundation is most important. But I said, this guy is dedicated and committed to doing something that ultimately I'm not really too interested in right now doing myself. And I said, if he wants to take on infrastructure for Black empowerment, I say, shit, I support his crazy. Because we'll use the prototype here in Shreveport. And once I saw him, the type of people that he is able to mobilize, galvanize, and bring into this, I'm like, okay, shit, I'm on point. And hell, I paid my money up, I think 2-3 years in advance.
Yep.
And they asked him for one damn statement because it's not necessary, because I know I'll, go to goddamn Copeland and spend $50 damn.
That's right.
Okay. So this brother, and that's why I told him he has to be the leader for this, because the Creator has blessed him with the Spirit. And I really didn't know if I would meet another brother would have a similar powerful spirit to that loves Black people, but is willing to tell them the truth and is willing to put his life on the line. I didn't know I'd meet another cat like that. So yeah, he's genuine, and I'm very proud to be a member of this, and I'm glad that my queen Tara is on board, and she brings a lot to the table. And to see Linda and Veronica and now Don and Latique and Carrie and to just meet all of you guys, man. This is what this is all about. And we got the talent. We just don't make the same mistakes as before. Don't be egotistical, and be willing to put the work in. It's really that simple.
Yeah. And another reason why it's important that we continually invite and recruit, because there are other people out there, like Veronica said, there are other EVs out there who are looking, want to be a part, know something is not right, would put in, but if they don't know who and what we are, then how are they ever going to be a part? So it's unfair to them, it's unfair to us, it's unfair to the organization and our children not to give every Black person the opportunity to say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. And now, you know, although I want Linda, Tyra, and Veronica to also, and Jatique, to have their sisterhood component as a part of this, you now have two Deltas who can now dialogue and whatnot, even within the sisterhood component of this. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
And I know that I have to create physical reality here. And as I was sharing with Tyra, the trip that I went on yesterday, I had to go get paperwork signed by my relatives in Dallas because they own 70 acres of land that has been passed down from their great grandmother. No, their grandmother. And they had never done anything with this property. And I was telling Tyra yesterday when I was leaving Dallas, I said, what's so gratifying is that 10 years ago, I got them mobilized and organized to do a succession. And 10 years later, this is our first business transaction. And during the same week, another corporation has come in and offered like $400,000 for some mineral rights, and that's gonna be the next deal. But to see my uncles and aunts and cousins now see that we can partnership together, and I handle the business for them, and everybody gets paid, you know, it's really a beautiful thing to see Black people collaborate. And I know this is something that's gonna make them feel good, and they're gonna be able to help their grandchildren and other people, and then we can go on and make some things happen. They won't directly be a part of Black Gold. They're older, but these people will follow what the hell I say.
That's right.
Because they know I got credibility, you know. And they're following my videos on Facebook about building up your immune system, dealing with the coronavirus, and all of that. So this group here, and it's a whole bunch more of us now, but this group here that we're building, hey man, we take over the goddamn world for our people. And be beef with them.
And I truly believe that.
Every day, all day. All right. So does anyone have any questions or comments for myself or Brother Craig or even Brother Kerry? He's in leadership as well. Any questions?
Well, one comment.
Wait, Brother John. I'm sorry. Go ahead, B.
Sure.
Veronica.
Oh, I know that after this situation just happened to the young man, and everybody did this whole jogathon, walkathon thing afterwards. But right in the midst of that, there was 3 more brothers that got killed, like right in the same breath. And so it's like, are we gonna do that every single time a brother gets killed or a sister gets killed? What is the actual, there has to be something in place, whereas when it happens, this is what we do, A, B, C, and D, across the board, you know what I'm saying, within the Black community. Because if we keep doing these marches in our own little communities and at the beach or whatever, hey, I posted, and I'm guilty, I did my little 2 miles or whatever, but I also said, there's gotta be something more than this. Because, and then someone posted, oh, well, send a message to your governor. I'm like, no, that's bullshit, because that's been done so many times. They're not even looking at your messages. They have some little people to weed out all your stuff. So if we're doing the same thing over and over, we know we're insane. Everybody knows that whole little quote. But what else, like you just asked, what else is there to do that's really going to be impactful, like in place? Okay, here is the plan, A, B, C, and D. You do these A, B, C, and D, because then people have something to fall back on. Because if not, they just keep falling back into doing these marches and doing this other stup. You know what I'm saying?
Brother Craig, you want to take it? You may take it.
Well, I want to say something before you say that, because I was about to say sort of the same kind of thing.
Okay.
I posted a video last night in our group, and Brother Rizza was talking about something that happened in California. I'm not sure what county it was, but some people went and sued the insurance company of the police department and won the case. And now this is starting to happen over and over again. These police departments are killing Black folks. Black folks are now going to the insurance people that insure the police departments. And I was thinking of I'm from Baltimore, Freddie Gray case and the other things that have went on there. the corrupt cops. This may be something that should happen all across the United States from Black folks.
Yeah. Craig?
Yeah, so that's, you're absolutely correct on that, Brente. That kind of automatically happens in a lot of these law enforcement shootings, definitely. But once the question that Veronica is going back to Trayvon Martin, I started, asking, what's going on? What do our people want? And then the Mike Brown situation happened, and I asked the same question, and I'm seeing, melanated people burn up their cities, but simultaneously, I had to go inside of the numbers. And Veronica, I don't know if you know the numbers at that time, but at that time, Ferguson was 73, 75% Black or melanated. They didn't have any goddamn Negro city council, or they had one. They might have had one. I don't think they had any. And they had a white mayor with a majority white police. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. The legislative branch is all white. The executive branch is white. And the police force is white. In a city that's 73%, 35% African American. So I'm like, okay, I know what's going on, but I said maybe I'm just being too gangster with this. So then the Tamir Rice thing happened. Then Eric Garner happened, and a few others happened, and then finally Freddie Gray, Baltimore, and the Negroes burned up Baltimore. And Baltimore, I've been there, and so I'm like, what do these Negroes want? And it finally dawned on me. Most of our people want white folks to love them.
Yep.
They really want to be accepted and loved by white people, because if you had an inkling of how this game is played, you would know that the police force, going to John's point, is governed by rules and that are local and state-based. And the head of the police department, the police chief, is an appointed position that comes by way of recommendation of the mayor, executive branch, and is confirmed by the city council, the legislative branch. Well, if your ass is not a part of the voting process, but you're complaining, what are you actually saying? Because if you want to change the goddamn system, you gotta be involved and engaged in the system. But what I was hearing was, oh, ain't nothing gonna change. They're gonna do what they wanna do. But you're not involved in the process. So you really don't have anything to say about the situation. So yes, lawsuits are coming, and these things cost the municipalities a great deal of money. But John, that hasn't stopped these white folks from killing each other. Now, in the case in Georgia, that dude is a retired law enforcement, so he wasn't on the force, but he's being protected by the infrastructure.
Right. Because
he's friends with the DA. His son works for the DA's office. Yeah. He's connected to the governor. So it's a system. You can't combat a system with just marches, 2K runs, complaining on social media.
And that's why they do what they do, because they know what our response is going to be. and they know it's gonna die down. And we're gonna be all upset and outraged week 1, and then week 2 we back to business as usual.
Exactly. And so the only way that can change, Veronica, is again through the takeover of a local municipality by grassroots Black people. It ain't never happened in world history. By the time that the Panthers figured out what to do, it was too late. Their brand had been tarnished. But I want you to go back and look at the numbers. In Oakland, when Bobby Steele decided to run for mayor, he finished second to Jerry Brown, and then it was a couple of them who ran for city council. I think one won. So just imagine, had they been focused on the public policy versus just only trying to agitate. So you got to do both. You got to agitate and you got to change public policy. And you don't change public policy just by allowing evil people to tell you that they're going to change public policy. You got to get people who represent your interests, grassroots people who have the same philosophy, who have the same gangster spirit, to get into those goddamn seats. School board, city council, county commission, district judge, city judge, DA, clerk of court, tax assessor, and the coroner, as well as the mayor's office. Those are your primary positions elected, and then behind the scenes, you got architectural design board, engineering board. This thing is very, very, very complex. And we got enough people if we just have the team where people can be plugged in. But I'm with you 100%. I don't get caught up in all that. I understand that protest can be an effective tool. Don't get me wrong. But just protesting the protest, look, where's the Black Lives Matter movement at right now?
They killed them all off.
No, they bought them off.
Kill them, bought.
The homosexual females who were leading that, all of them got checked. Trust me. All of them, under Donald Trump, you ain't heard nothing from them. Because it was all about positioning themselves to get a check. That's what Al Sharpton did. That's what Jesse Jackson did. That's the game, right? And so there has to be a grassroots national presence that can change, that can enlighten, train grassroots people from city to city, county to county. The Panthers had the right idea about germinating a grassroots agenda. They just didn't have all of their shit together. And then once all the infighting started and the sexism was going on, they were dead on arrival.
Yeah, and let me add to real quick because I got a meeting at 12 o'clock.
Right.
There has to be a program response on multiple levels. And that is the importance of having national leadership. So you said, instead of us always doing the same thing over and over again, if we have a Craig Lee who says politically, we're going to do this to enact pressure on whomever for the murder of this brother, then we can do that. If we control our own agricultural system and we're feeding some of white America, we can say we're not going to do this if you don't do this, and we move that way. If we control certain swaths of economic activity, we're not going to do this if you don't do that. So we got to be able to apply pressure on people on multiple levels so that they know if you do this to one of us, then we're going to do this to one of you on multiple levels. And that is never going to happen if you don't have the leadership, if you don't have the connectivity, if you don't have the organization, if you don't have the understanding, which goes back to got to get people involved. So people need to be afraid. They need to think twice about harming one of ours because they're afraid of what's going to happen to one of theirs. As a matter of fact, They need to be mindful and worried about what's going to happen to not one of theirs, but 4 or 5 of theirs if they harm one of ours. We got to stop playing games with people who've been killing us since we've been here. Our response has to be organized, it has to be connected, it has to be methodical, it has to be intelligent, it has to be swift. And a few white people need to be made examples of. Period. Otherwise, these things, like they've been happening for the past 400 years, will continue, because what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna complain, y'all gonna march, y'all gonna talk about boycotting, y'all gonna get upset, and then week 2 is gonna start and y'all gonna fade back. No one fears Black America. Nobody is afraid of Black. Fuck, what y'all niggas gonna do? And they know we ain't gonna do nothing, so they keep doing what they're gonna do. And until we give them a reason to be afraid, they're gonna keep doing it. Go ahead.
That's right, because people are afraid of a civil war. They know that if they retaliate, we don't have the gunpowder necessarily, to fight back, and neither have we been trained, university. So people are afraid that if they retaliate, because when you were saying, well, what do we do immediately? I started smiling right away because I was like, an eye for an eye, but even though I wouldn't say that on record because I see you recording, but an eye for an eye, because if they did that to them right away, there's no, like you said, there's no way those 2 men should have been living after that day.
But we have to understand that we can't fight them on where they're strong. We can't go straight up. Nobody can go straight up with America. America's military might is too powerful. But America lost in Afghanistan and Vietnam because they were fighting as guerrillas. So you got to understand your enemy, what you're up against. We would be foolish. Like some brothers talking about, we need to go start killing cops. That's stupid because all cops aren't bad. All cops aren't white. And all cops aren't the problem.
Right.
But you can most certainly affect those that you know are issues, which goes back to everything I say. That SWOT analysis, knowing where we're threatened, somebody already knew in that community that these 2 white boys were problems. I guarantee you, somebody already knew. So if we are already aware of the threats that are threatening the lives of our children and our people, then we act accordingly before something pops off. So we got to be smart with what we do and how we do it. And going back to what Brother Craig said, if you can control the politics, then your environment is safe because you control it. You don't have to worry about something popping off and the DA not taking care of business because the DA is on your side because you put him or her in office.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about the police dragging their feet and for months saying that we're not sure if there's something here because you control the politics, you control the local police department. Nigga, you better go do your job.
Exactly.
But we got to stop.
So I almost feel like these killings are a distraction right now because what's going on right now? Voting. A lot of people are sitting on these ballots, they're sitting in their house right now, and then you're going to miss the due dates, the census and all that stuff. You're going to miss the due dates because no one's talking about them because we're so caught up in marching and doing all these other things. We forget that, yes, these political things need to happen, but no one's talking about it.
Exactly.
No one's talking about it. And those dates are going to slip right on by. The 12th is ours, which is this week. Yeah. And nobody's talking about it locally, or they're sending private messages. Don't forget to vote, whatever. Why are we doing, why is this so private? It needs to be out there because everybody's going to say, oh, I missed the date.
Which goes back to the importance of having national leadership. Yeah. Because Brother Craig is going to be on top of politics. Brother Harlan's going to be on top of economics. Brother Kerr is going to be on top of agriculture. So we'll be able to move as a nation per our leadership because they are leading and guiding. You cannot get away from that as a solution because that is the only solution. If we're not organized from the grassroots level up, and we're going to have leadership that loves and cares about Black people and know what they're doing, and if we're not ready, willing, and able to reach out and let people know, we're here, we see you, blah, blah, it's going to continue to happen. There's no reason for it to stop. Yeah. That is why every single thing we do is important. Because they've been killing and lynching for 400 years. Yeah. And like I say, the predator never leaves where he or she prays. Leave for what? The eating is good.
Exactly.
So if you don't give the predator a reason to leave, and I'm being very serious, he or she is not going to leave, which is why everything we do for a reason. And it's important. You can't, I tell you that, it's a mistake. It's foolish. It's ass backwards and retarded for you to get upset about something that happened yet again. Talk about how bad it is, but do nothing to ensure it doesn't happen again. At some point, our children, be it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, at some point our kids got to be safe because these people understand if we touch one of theirs, then 5 of mine are going to We got to do that. And if we don't start organizing that now, it's always going to be, it's been like this for 400 years. Literally 400 years, we've been in this position. We've been crying and complaining for that long. Ain't shit going to change if we don't change it.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's 11:54. Anybody got any more questions or comments for me, Brother Craig? Here, Brother Craig? Go ahead.
Ballad of the Brother video.
I shared it with everybody who's on this call except for Tara, and I'm sure she's already seen it. I gave everybody access to it yesterday. When I watched it again, and I told you that I watched it, I gave everybody access to it, so they have it. They just need to watch.
Good job. Cool. All right, brother.
All right, everybody's good. We got the boogie. Everybody good?
Hey, Tamani, did you say we have access to this video?
No, not this one. I'm still recording. Stop playing games. I said access to Malcolm X's Ballad of the Bullet.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's making it available. He's gonna make this available, right, Brother?
Only to special Negroes.
And we not special?
Only the sisters. And Brother Kerry, because he gonna go to tomatoes. Yeah, I will give everybody access, and y'all can boogie on. All right, I got to go. Okay, so remember 2 things. No one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So with that, y'all have a good one. I'll be in touch. Y'all take care.
Wait.
Peace.
Okay, have a good day, everyone.
All right, thank you, Brother Craig.
No, I'm just picking.